The Columbia-class submarine represents possibly one of the most consequential naval programs the United States has pursued since the Cold War. It is the future backbone of America's undersea nuclear deterrence and, by extension, a key pillar to maintain the balance of power between the world's great powers. Designed to replace the aging Ohio-class ballistic missile submarines, the Columbia-class is being built to operate well into the late 21st century under far more demanding technological, industrial, and geopolitical conditions than its predecessor. Ballistic missile submarines occupy a unique position in modern warfare. Unlike attack submarines, surface combatants, or aircraft carriers, they are not designed to fight wars in a conventional sense. Their purpose is nuclear deterrence. They exist to remain hidden, survive any first nuclear strike, and guarantee a devastating retaliatory response if nuclear war ever occurs. This ability to provide an assured second strike is what makes them the most survivable leg of the nuclear triad, alongside land-based intercontinental ballistic missiles and strategic bombers. A nuclear ballistic missile submarine, designated SSBN, combines nuclear propulsion with submarine-launched ballistic missiles. Nuclear propulsion allows the submarine to operate submerged for months at a time, limited mainly by crew endurance and food supplies. Ballistic missiles provide global reach and strategic firepower. When deployed on deterrent patrol, an SSBN's exact location is unknown even to most friendly forces. This uncertainty is what gives the platform its deterrent power. An adversary must find the SSBN to destroy it, and if the SSBN is built and used properly, finding it is a tall order. The Ohio class has fulfilled this role since the early 1980s. Designed during the Cold War, these submarines were built for a planned service life of 42 years. Each hull was expected to complete two 20-year operational cycles, separated by a lengthy mid-life nuclear refueling overhaul lasting 2 years. That refueling process requires cutting into the pressure hull, removing spent nuclear fuel, and rebuilding large sections of the submarine. It is expensive, time-consuming, and operationally disruptive. As the Ohio class approaches the end of its service life, the US Navy faces a hard deadline. Ballistic missile submarines cannot be extended indefinitely without unacceptable risk. Hull fatigue, reactor limitations, and obsolete systems eventually become prohibitive and risky in a conflict scenario. This reality drove the creation of what was initially called the Ohio Replacement Program, later designated SSBN-X, and ultimately named the Columbia-class. From the outset, the Columbia-class program was shaped by a single overriding requirement. There could be no gap in continuous at-sea deterrence. The US Navy must always have enough ballistic missile submarines deployed to maintain a survivable second strike capability. Any failure to meet this requirement would undermine nuclear stability and invite strategic risk. Development of the Columbia-class formally accelerated in the early 2010s. By that point, Navy planners had concluded that modifying existing designs would not meet long-term needs at acceptable cost or risk. Options, such as stretching the Virginia-class attack submarine into something different entirely, or updating the Ohio-class design, were studied. Both were rejected. Each would have required mid-life refueling and imposed design compromises. Instead, the Navy chose a clean-sheet design, optimized from the beginning for a ballistic missile sub and strategic deterrence role. This decision increased upfront cost but reduced long-term operational risk. It's also allowed designers to incorporate decades of lessons learned from Ohio-class operations and newer attack submarine technologies. One of the most significant design decisions in the Columbia-class is its nuclear fuel core. Unlike previous American ballistic missile submarines, the Columbia will use a life-of-ship reactor core. This core is designed to last for the submarine's entire service life, estimated at over 40 years. The benefits of this approach are important. First, it eliminates the need for mid-life refueling overhauls. These overhauls remove submarines from service for years at a time. During refueling, the submarine is unavailable for deterrent patrols, reducing fleet readiness. By removing this requirement, each Columbia submarine can remain operational for a far greater proportion of its life than the preceding Ohio class. Second, avoiding refueling reduces life cycle cost. Although the reactor core itself is more expensive, the Navy avoids the massive infrastructure, labor, and downtime costs associated with refueling. Over the life of the class, this translates into substantial savings. Third, the life-of-ship core improves strategic predictability. Fleet planners can schedule maintenance and deployments with greater confidence. There is no need to manage refueling bottlenecks at nuclear shipyards already under strain from multiple submarine programs or building elder ships. The reactor innovation is one of the reasons the Navy determined that only 12 Columbia-class submarines are required to replace 14 Ohio-class boats. Because each Columbia can spend more time deployed and less time in overhaul, fewer hulls are needed to maintain the same number of submarines at sea. The decision often causes confusion. It is not a reduction in deterrent capability. It is a recalibration based on improved availability. The Columbia class is designed to sustain the required number of continuous deterrent patrols with a smaller fleet. However, this approach assumes high reliability, disciplined maintenance, and no major schedule disruptions. Whether those assumptions will hold is a separate question. Recent delays and industrial challenges have already placed stress on the program. Even so, the underlying logic remains sound from a design perspective, at least in a vacuum. Another central feature of the Columbia class is the common missile compartment. This is a shared missile tube design developed jointly with the United Kingdom for its Dreadnought-class submarines. Each compartment contains 4 missile tubes, often described as a quad pack. Columbia-class submarines will carry 4 of these compartments, for a total of 16 missile tubes. This is fewer than the 24 tubes carried by the Ohio-class submarines. The reduction reflects changes in arms control agreements, strategic requirements, and increased confidence in missile reliability from the time the Ohio class was built. It also contributes to a more compact and efficient internal layout. The common missile compartment standardizes missile support systems across 2 allied navies. It includes not only the tubes themselves, but also the associated launch hardware, gas management systems, cooling, power distribution, and software. Standardization reduces development risk, lowers cost, and improves long-term supportability. The Columbia class will carry Trident II D5 ballistic missiles, initially in the D5LE configuration and later in upgraded variants. These missiles remain one of the more accurate and reliable nuclear delivery systems in service anywhere in the world. Beyond missiles and reactors, the Columbia class incorporates several major hydrodynamic and control innovations. One of the most visible is the X-shaped stern control surface arrangement. Traditional submarines use a cruciform configuration, with vertical rudders and horizontal dive planes arranged in a cross shape. The X-stern replaces this with 4 control surfaces arranged diagonally. This configuration offers several advantages. It provides greater control authority at low speeds, which is critical during quiet operations. It improves maneuverability in confined or complex underwater environments. It also reduces flow noise around the stern by distributing control forces more efficiently. Theoretically, the X-stern also allows the submarine to operate close to the seabed, especially in shallow littoral waters. But this benefit applies more to the smaller diesel-electric boats with the X-stern rudder than the much larger nuclear boats like the Columbia class. An X-stern can also improve survivability. If one control surface is damaged, the remaining surfaces can often compensate more effectively than in a traditional cruciform setup. This redundancy is valuable for a platform that must remain operable under all conditions. The Columbia class also employs sail-mounted dive planes rather than bow-mounted planes. This possibly reduces interference with the large aperture bow sonar array and improves acoustic performance. It also simplifies bow design. A potential downside is the greater risk of damage if the submarine has to surface through ice. A sail-mounted set of diving planes is more susceptible to damage in the surfacing attempt. Power generation and distribution represents another major step forward. The Columbia class uses an integrated power system, in which the nuclear reactor generates electricity that is distributed to propulsion and all onboard systems through a common electrical network. This approach decouples reactor outputs from propulsion mechanics. In traditional submarines, a set of steam turbines drive the reduction gears that are connected to the propeller shaft. These mechanical systems generate noise and impose design constraints. In the Columbia class, steam turbines drive electric generators instead. Electric motors then turn the pump jet propulsor. This nuclear electric drive offers several advantages. It significantly reduces acoustic signatures by eliminating the need for complex and noisy reduction gears. It allows more flexible power management, enabling quiet operations at low speeds and rapid power availability where needed. It also supports future upgrades that may require substantial electrical power. Electric drive systems are not new in principle, but their application at the scale represents a major engineering achievement. Advances in electric motor technology, power electronics, and control systems have made this approach viable for a strategic submarine. At the bow, the large aperture bow sonar replaces the conventional spherical sonar arrays. The large aperture bow sonar uses a large conformal array integrated into the whole structure. By eliminating the need for a separate sonar dome, it improves detection performance and represents more optimal use of valuable space in the all-important bow area. The large aperture bow sonar provides improved sensitivity across a wide range of frequencies. It enhances both active and passive detection, although ballistic missile submarines primarily rely on passive sensing for obvious reasons. Active sonar will just give your own position away. Passive sonar allows the submarine to detect threats at greater ranges while remaining silent. Complementing the bow sonar is the stern area system. The sonar array provides coverage of the submarine's aft, an area traditionally more difficult to monitor. By integrating sensors around the stern, the Columbia-class gains improved situational awareness in all directions. Together, these systems allow the submarine to maintain awareness of its acoustic environment without compromising stealth. This is critical for avoiding adversary submarines and tracking potential threats. The Columbia-class also benefits from advanced combat system integration. Many elements are derived from attack submarine programs, reducing development risk and leveraging proven technology. Digital control systems, fiber optic networks, and automated monitoring reduce crew workload and improve reliability. Despite these advances, the Columbia program faces serious challenges. Costs have risen significantly. Schedule delays have already emerged. Workforce shortages and industrial bottlenecks threaten further slippage. Because this program is the Navy's top priority, it absorbs resources that might otherwise support other shipbuilding efforts. The stakes are high. If delays continue, the Navy could face a period in which Ohio-class submarines retire faster than Columbia-class boats enter service. Such a gap would strain deterrent patrol schedules and increase operational risk. Even so, the Columbia-class remains essential. No alternative platform can replace the survivability and credibility of a ballistic missile submarine force. Land-based missiles are fixed targets. Bombers require forward basing and access to sovereign territory. Only submarines can remain hidden indefinitely. In that sense, the Columbia-class is not optional. Whether the program ultimately succeeds will depend not only on engineering, but on sustained political commitment and industrial capacity. If delivered as intended, the Columbia-class will quietly patrol the oceans for decades, unseen and generally unnoticed. Its success will be measured not in battles fought, but in wars that never happen.